Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning and question and answer Thursday. A little bit of change in our production today, but welcome. We thank you for coming on. We will say hello to a few folks here. And okay, who's number one on the hit parade today? Lori Lee from Ventura, California. Lori, how are you? April, good morning. Rosalinda from the Kidneys of Canada, Niagara Falls. Jen. Debbie, good morning. Rice Lake. Madeleine. Kippawa, Quebec. Is that Bruno? Or Kevin? Kevin, how are you? Keith, good morning. Mary, how is you? Nick from our staff, good morning. Suzanne, how is you? And Annette, good morning to you. Jessica, hello. Another Lori, but from Niagara Falls. Good morning. Flo from Corona. Sandy, California. Lisa Marie, good morning. Carol, good to have you on with us this morning. Jeanette from our staff, we appreciate that. Dave, Muskoka. Diane, Thunder Bay. Yolande, bonjour. How are you? Jerry, Nouveau-Brunswick. Yeah, Kevin, it was you, eh? See, your name, Kevin, is Wanda. How are you? From Virginia. Frida, good morning to you. David, Ridgeway. And Adeline, much appreciated. Darlene, good morning to you. And see, I missed it there from Le Basque. Karen, Peterborough. And from Portugal, good morning, Carol. From Nouveau-Brunswick, Marlow, Ottawa. And see, when it gets up in there, I think it says Sandra. Fran from Orangeville. Bonnie, Manitoulin Island, beautiful. Ken from San Antonio, Texas, and Ron. Good morning, Colorado. Sandy, Janine, and Yvonne from Petawawa. Good morning, Petawawa. Kadadichu, how are you? Barbara, Atlanta. And Sheila, Sudbury. And I think it's Paula or Laura Gord from Edmonton. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning. I know I missed some of you guys. Edda, good morning. Okay, let's get to our questions here this morning. Question and answer Thursday. Penny wanted to know what Dr. Martin's thought about nattokinase. Okay, well, nattokinase, okay, we put in vitamin, it's MK7, which is a vitamin K2. And nattokinase is, you can get it as a supplement as what they call proteolytic enzymes. I like them. I like nattokinase. Helps to dissolve clots. Okay, nattokinase. So yeah, I like it, Penny. And some people were taking it along with the vaccine. And yeah, I like it. Okay. John, if you have too much sun here and there, does that contribute to skin cancer? Well, look, okay. And why does he emphasize not to get a little red? I do not emphasize that, John. You mistake me for someone else. I can't think, I've done thousands of podcasts. I don't think I've ever used the word red when it comes to the sun. I know other doctors do, but not me. What do I say, John? Don't burn. Okay? Don't burn. So, your question is, does the sun contribute to skin cancer? So, we already talked about a major study that came out. I think I talked about it this week, as recently as this week, about melanoma. And melanoma is, there's really three types of skin cancer, John, okay? There's basal cell carcinoma, okay? There's squamous cell carcinoma, and there's melanoma, okay? So basal cell carcinoma is, look, you get perhaps a cancer spot, and that can happen when you're burning in the sun. Same with squamous cell, but they're not deadly cancers. You get them treated, or they're not spreading. It's not like melanoma. Melanoma is a skin cancer that can be very deadly because it spreads. Now, here's the facts on melanoma, and even the cancer societies, you won't read this much because it won't get a lot of traction. But sun, okay, here was the study, brand new. The sun helps to prevent melanoma. Wow. Well, it's something I've been saying for just about 50 years. Okay? And did you hear that the White House was talking even this week about blocking the sun? Are you kidding me? Like, you can't make this stuff up, folks. You can't. But when you see what happens when, big pharma, it drives me crazy. The benefits, sun, steak, and steel. The benefits of sun. Every aspect of your body, from your brain to your toes, you are a human solar panel. And vitamin D from the sun prevents cancer. Doesn't cause cancer, prevents cancer. Okay, again, am I telling people to burn? No, I'm not. If people ask me, Doc, what do you think about sunscreen? I don't like it, not if it's chemical. I don't, because think about it. Heat and chemicals put together on the skin are going to go into your tissue. Why do you think the FDA, even the FDA, has taken hundreds and hundreds of sunscreens off the market? Why? They're reported to be carcinogenic. Wow. The very thing that is supposed to protect you from cancer, sunscreen, causes cancer. Well, why didn't they ask me? Heat? Chemicals? Disaster. You're heating up chemicals. I learned that in high school chemistry class, in the lab. You don't put stuff in a Bunsen, and put a Bunsen burner to it. But on your skin, you can put drugs on your skin to go right into your blood, Now they have patches for medication. They used to give angina. They used to give a pill. You dissolved it in your mouth for angina. Nitroglycerin. Yeah. And now they'll give you a patch. And even medication, some medication for diabetes, given on the skin, right into the bloodstream. Well, don't you think chemicals are dangerous? You better believe they are. And even the FDA has said it. So, John, the question is, get in the sun every chance you get. You'll never get too much vitamin D, by the way, from the sun. Impossible. Your body will top up at about 10,000 IUs after 20 minutes. Anything you get extra, you'll get some benefits. I'm not saying get out of the sun in 20 minutes, but in 20 minutes, if you leave your arms and legs exposed for 20 minutes, okay, you're going to get 10,000 IUs. So I ask another question. How can 10,000 IUs of vitamin D be dangerous? How can it be dangerous if you get it in 20 minutes in the sun? But your body stops its vitamin D absorption. You still get other benefits from the sun, okay? Like melatonin. I think somebody asked a question a little later on. We'll talk about that as we get to it. Okay, so thanks, John. Chelsea. I heard him say on a podcast recently that dark spots are what are thought to be sunspots are from what we eat. Is this correct? And how can we get rid of them? Look, okay? As you age, okay? Okay. I'm big time into anti-aging as much as you can. But as you age, you're going to get some age spots, okay? Just about invariably. But anything, Chelsea, you see on the skin, always start inside out, okay? Now, what I've mentioned in the past, okay, is one of the biggest effects of sugar, and the other one being those seed oils, okay, the middle aisles of your grocery store. Fast foods. When you eat those things, they're made with a bad oil. And my clinical experience is those are the people that burn in the sun, generally. Look, if you're fair, look, it takes you more time to get your skin. If you're fair, look, everybody's different there. But in general, when people eat properly and they lower their glycation, how do you lower glycation? Quit eating crappy carbs and sugars. You lower your inflammation, okay, on your skin even, by getting rid of those crappy carbs and fast foods that are made with the bad oil. When people do that, they find their skin is better. And you also have to look at leaky gut, leaky skin. So any kind of rash, eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, whatever, dry, scaly skin, generally is an issue of your gut, okay? So, to get some brown spots, aging spots, I looked at my hands the other day, and I'm looking at them now. I got a few spots there. I guess I'm aging. I'm not trying to go quick, though, okay? And what you can control, what you put in your mouth every day, and don't burn, guys, in the sun. I've never recommended that. I recommend covering up. I recommend wearing a hat. A wide brim hat if you're worried about your ears at all or whatever, and cover up. Cover kids up. You can get light water clothing, okay? They get wet, so what? Don't let them burn. And I'm not big on putting, if I go to the beach and I see people using sunscreen, I want to scream at sunscreen. You're putting chemicals, adding heat. You have no idea how carcinogenic those things are. Anywho, okay. Okay, Chelsea, thanks for the question. Tony, every Tony I know in the world I like. Okay, Tony, spelt with an I, so that could be a girl, could be a guy. I don't know. Can oil of oregano help with yeast infection? Absolutely, it does. Oil of oregano is antibacterial. Nature's gift, God's gift to us is oil of oregano. Okay, it's a gift. It's a powerful antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic. For all of those things, it's a powerful antioxidant too. I saw someone on I think it was on our private Facebook, where they talking about they brushed their teeth and they almost passed out with oil of oregano. Hey, suck it up, buttercup. Oil of oregano. But it don't kill your bad guys. So yes, it is very good. Highly recommended for yeast. Okay? And too much overgrowth of yeast with an antifungal. Can oil of oregano help with yeast infection and too much overgrowth of yeast with antifungal properties? That question's not phrased right, so let me just stop where I am. Yeah, oil of oregano, I tell you, is the greatest natural antibiotic that you can get. Now, if you have a raging infection, okay, not yeast, fungal, but if you have a raging bacterial infection and you need an antibiotic, I would take oil of oregano with it, plus probiotics, okay? And do you know that there's two bacterial strains that we put in our probiotics, okay? They're in the immune boosting formula. And the reason we put that, I don't know how long we're going to get away with that on our label, is for proprietary reasons, okay? Look, companies are trying to copy us all the time, and those are my formulas. They're Tony Jr. and I's formulas. We're trying to protect it. Anyway, there's two of them in there, L. reuteri and L. rhamnosus, that are, they do a lot of things, but one of the things they really go after is yeast, fungus. So you got a yeast infection, probiotics, oil of oregano. Absolutely, and don't eat sugar, because sugar feeds yeast. Okay, thanks for the question. Okay, we're going to get from Lori another thing about the skin. Campbell de Morgan spots, those are cherry-like angiomas, okay? Again, what I say to you, Lori, is this. Always go inside out. So if you have cherry angiomas on your skin, here's what I found over the years, always leaky gut associated with it. You need to fix the leaky gut, leaky skin, okay? And that really helps, okay? It really helps. Get some sun on your skin, because the sun and the vitamin D don't burn, but it's very good for healing the skin. And what I found with cherry angiomas, okay, Campbell de Morgan spots, there's usually a fungus there. There's usually yeast. So I work on the inside to the outside, okay? Thank you, Lori, for the question. Patricia, calcium. What is a CAC test? Well, that's a calcium measurement in your blood vessels. CAC. They look for hardening of the arteries. Okay, so we talked about this the other day. Okay? When, for blood vessels, you need, you gotta have a little bit of calcium in your blood. Okay, it's not the end of the world, but you don't want a lot of calcium in your blood. Calcium don't belong in your bloodstream. It's not meant to stay there for a long period of time. That's how you get calcified blood vessels. Okay? And that's why I don't like calcium supplements. Do I like calcium? Of course I do. I want you to eat your calcium. When you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, you get all the calcium you need, plus vitamin K2 to bring the calcium, take it out of your blood vessels, and put it in your bones. What do you think? Even someone that was asking about nattokinase. It's one of the things that helps you to do. Taking calcium out of your blood vessels. So what a CAC test is, it's a calcium detector and finding out how much hardening of the arteries you have, okay? And you can do it on the carotid artery, okay, that right along your, that goes up to your brain, okay? But they can do it. I like that test. I think it's a great test. And you start with, if you have hardening of the arteries, you change your diet, you get off carbs, you get off sugar, okay? As much as possible. Do the reset for 30 days. Start lubricating your blood vessels. Why do I love DHA? Why do I love oil? Why do I love bacon? Because it's got oleic acid. Bacon has the same oil as olive oil. I like olive oil too, by the way. Okay, I do. I just like bacon better. Same oil. That lubricates your blood vessels. It makes your blood vessels slippery. So stuff doesn't get gummed up there, like calcium. You want to lubricate. When you go for an oil change with your car, you don't even probably think about it, but they do an oil and a lube. Change the oil. You need it in your brain and your blood vessels. Thank you for those questions. Okay, let's get to the next one. That was Patricia. Thanks, Patricia. Nicole's asking about, she's asking about diverticulosis. Okay, so diverticulosis is found on the descending transverse colon, on generally those pouches. They're pouches. And the problem with diverticulosis is that they can become diverticulitis. They get infected. You know what they get infected with? Poop. Poop. Because there's little pouches there. But let me tell you how you get those little pouches. Okay? You get those little pouches when you insist on being a rabbit and you're not. People who get diverticulosis, pouches, they build pouches, are people that live on fiber. What have I always said? Have I been consistent? Fiber is overrated. You don't live on it. Fiber, you need cereal, you need fiber, you need how many grams of fiber a day because you gotta go to the bathroom. You're not a rabbit. Your body, you're not a cow either. A cow has 4 stomachs. They eat grass so you don't have to. Got it? They have enzymes that you don't have. Human beings don't have cellulase. Okay? We don't have that. I'm not saying you can't have any vegetables. I'm saying you can't live on vegetables. Because some people, fruits and vegetables. That's all I need from the plant kingdom. And yeah, but those are the people that get diverticulosis. They get pouches. And you know what I do? When I used to get patients with diverticulosis, I said, okay, here's what you're going to do. 30-day reset, no fiber whatsoever. I might even give you, even with flaxseed, I was careful with them. And I love flaxseed, guys. Okay? I'm Dr. Flaxseed because of lignans and lowering dangerous estrogen. Okay? But if you want to heal that intestine, steak heals it. Water heals it. Probiotics heal it. Okay? Bone broth heals it. Why? Because of L-glutamine. It regenerates the gut. That intestine, you can regenerate it. Absolutely you can. Okay? But I'm not saying you can't have any fiber. What I'm saying is fiber's overrated. You don't need it like people think they need it. That came from Dr. Kellogg's. Okay? I'm sorry. Renetta, what does Dr. Martin think of red rice yeast? Not much. Renetta, look, I hope you understand I have a sense of humor. Why is red rice, you don't hear that much about it, but you used to. It was a big kid on the block, 30 years ago. You know? Red rice yeast, red rice, you know why they said it was good? Because it lowered cholesterol. And you know what? What did I say? What have I always said? Why do you want to lower cholesterol? I want you to elevate your cholesterol. So, Renata, I'm sure it has other benefits. But if it lowers your cholesterol, why do you want to do that? And then they'll say, well, it lowers your bad cholesterol. What is bad cholesterol? There's no bad cholesterol. What is bad high triglycerides. LDL is not bad cholesterol. Total cholesterol is not bad cholesterol. HDL's got to be high cholesterol. And so when someone asks me, Doc, well, can I take this product that lowers my cholesterol? I go, why do you want to do that? Give me your reasons. Well, my doctor said, well, I know, but your doctor got duped. Okay? For over 50 years ago, they said cholesterol was bad and cholesterol causes heart disease. No, it doesn't. Blaming cholesterol is like blaming police. Yeah, cholesterol is always going to be running through your arteries. Yeah. They're FedEx trucks. They're U.S. Postal Service. They're UPS. They are, Amazon trucks. They're delivering things like your hormones. You need cholesterol. They're looking for love in all the wrong places. Cardiologists got that wrong, but it's not the first thing they got wrong. They got butter wrong. They got salt wrong. I'm sorry. I love them. But they're wrong. Okay. Renetta, thanks for the question. Lisa, what does Dr. Martin think of humic fulvic? Well, that is from the soil. They use it, I've seen it used to detox the body. Can I be honest with you, Lisa? I haven't found it to be that effective. Look, look. You want to have a little bit of? You want to eat a little bit of soil? Eat a little bit of soil. I like probiotics much better to detox. And if you get rid of yeast, okay? If you get rid of yeast, you're going to get rid of the transporters of heavy metals and garbage. And I like glutathione much better than fulvic acid. And glutathione is when you up your levels of glutathione, okay, Velcro, when you have an empty liver. So if you empty your liver, your body makes even more glutathione. How do you empty your liver? Stop eating sugar. And especially fructose, high fructose corn syrup that goes right to your liver and gums your liver up. Okay? Lisa, thanks for the question. Dorothy, circadian rhythm is out of balance. Is it better to take cortisol control in the evenings throughout the day? Look, okay, here's me. And every individual, okay, is a little bit different. And this is why, okay, will you not admit something to me? All my listeners, viewers, okay? Would you not agree? One thing you got to enjoy about the Martin Clinic is you can ask us questions. And we strive to be really good at answering your questions, okay? So, here's a question, Dorothy. What about cortisol formula? Okay? When is the best time to take it? Those are good questions. If your circadian rhythm is out of whack, when's the best time? Well, I would say probably twice a day. At the start of your day, 2 capsules, and to help you sleep. Look, guys, this is just me. It's my opinion. But I have never, because somebody's asking this, okay? I'm going to answer Sherry's question at the same time. I know you prefer melatonin from the sun, but when is it not possible is in taking a low-dose melatonin tablet before bed helpful at all? Can you take it every day? Okay, Sherry, I'm going to answer the question about melatonin because I'm going to put it in with cortisol. If you can find, and look, again, this is my opinion, there's no better sleep aid than the sun. Okay? Why? You get melatonin. Okay? You take it in. Your body makes it. It's actually made more in your mitochondria than it is in your third eye. It's an energy thing. Melatonin is important. But I don't like melatonin as a supplement. Why? Because it has a shelf life. Not the individual bottle has a shelf life. Is that here's what I found. Some people, you know what, doc? Melatonin helps me. And then it doesn't. Melatonin helped me, but it doesn't help me anymore. That is generally, remember, I was in practice for 50 years, just about. 46. You think I didn't hear about melatonin? Probably every day. But I just found, for me, not as a supplement. Get melatonin 2 ways. The sun, okay? And then dark, no light room when you sleep. You make melatonin. Your body makes it, okay? And so the question is asked, cortisol formula. Okay. Why is it so good to help you sleep? Well, I put 7 or 8, can't remember now. I'd have to look at the label again. Over the years, I like combining things. I'm a combination guy. When you put this together, because somebody was asking me about melatonin, for example. It's got a shelf life. But I put in that formula what I found worked over the years and put them in combination. Okay? Perfect combination. And thousands and thousands of people agree with that. They go, yeah, melatonin, and I like magnesium too, by the way. Okay? For sleeping. I do. Okay? And they don't have shelf lives, guys. They just, because they're so good for you. Okay? Now, People find they take a couple of capsules before they go to bed, and a lot of people take 2 doses a day. Lots of people take 2 doses a day. Helps with their circadian rhythm, helps them get back to that, especially if they have anxiety. And it's good to start the day with taking cortisol, okay? Now, and then the melatonin, like sleep aid, again, I'm not that big on it. Thanks for the question, Sherry. Thanks for the question, Lisa. I talked about humic and fulvic acid. Dorothy, thank you for the question about the cortisol formula. Okay. Teresa is asking about berberine. Look, berberine is the new kid on the block right now. It's getting lots of ink. Look, I don't mind it. I don't. I just found in practice, so I've known about berberine for a lot of years, okay? I just found a standalone, I'm not that big on it, to be honest with you, okay? I like other things better than berberine. Okay, so they're using berberine now for weight loss, and they're talking about how it helps. It acts just like metformin. Do you know what acts just like metformin? Coffee. I'd rather have a coffee than berberine. No, listen, a coffee has 1,000 phytonutrients. It's actually proven if you have a coffee with your meal, you are going to lower your insulin response. I've been saying that for 40 years. Okay? Good question. Oh, about berberine raising HDL. Well, I know what raises HDL better than berberine. High DHA. Omega-3 raises your HDL, and eat bacon and steak. Okay. Diane, what causes polymyalgia rheumatica? Well, a virus usually. Polymyalgia rheumatica is a perfect storm. It's usually your immune system is in the toilet. Lots of stress. The immune system is in the toilet. Usually, here's what I found over the years, very, very extremely low levels of vitamin D. People that don't get in the sun. And then it's a perfect storm. Viral takes effect. Polymyalgia rheumatica is, guys, listen, every joint in your body becomes inflamed. It's like rheumatoid arthritis. It's poly. Poly means everywhere. And it ain't no fun. And I had patients come in with polymyalgia and they could not tie up their shirt. They couldn't do the buttons on their shirt. And they were so sore and so inflamed. And I had a protocol for that and how to get rid of it and one of them was oil of oregano, probiotics, high therapeutic doses of vitamin D, okay? High DHA oil. I put them all on it. And I get good results. I put them on the reset. Okay? Okay, I think I got every question. I think I did. Let me look one more time. Yep, I did. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us today for Question and Answer Thursday. Friday, I'm off, okay? I'm off this week. Okay, so don't look for me in the morning. I won't be on. Okay, I'm traveling. Okay, guys, we do love you so much. Remember, if you haven't got a copy of our new book, Sun, Steak, and Steel, why do you not have that book? Okay. No, you guys have been great because you made it #1. #1 new book coming out is Sun, Steak, and Steel. You guys are fantastic. We appreciate it. Okay, love you. Talk to you soon.